All right, y'all. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Thank you for joining me, as always. We got a sweet show for you today. I don't know why I use the word sweet in particular, but that's what came to mind, so we're going to go ahead and go with that. So everybody do me a big favor before we begin. Click like, click subscribe. There's like tens of thousands of you who watch this show and you don't subscribe. I don't know what you're thinking. I don't know what you're doing. Fact of the matter is it helps us massively and it doesn't cost you a thing. So just click that subscribe button, click that bell icon so you get a notification every single time a video drops, and all the other fun stuff. You can listen to this show as an audio podcast on Spotify. We post the whole thing there. You don't have to go video for video like you do here on YouTube, so you can consider that as well. And much love to everybody who supports the show on Patreon, supports Crystal, Kyle, and Friends on Substack, or tips via YouTube. There's a thanks button below where people do that. Thank you so much if you support the show, and if you don't, please consider it. All right. Without further ado, let me give you a little bit of a taste here, a little tease as to what we have to look forward to today. So we have Marjorie Taylor Greene is responding to the Trump arrest and the 37 crimes, and let's just say it is classic Marjorie Taylor Greene. We also have a devastating new poll that came out, CBS YouGov poll, where they're asking Republican voters what they think of all the indictments and what they think of the criminal situation involving Donald Trump. And, I may have to admit I was wrong about something, y'all. I may have to admit it. My wife may have gotten the better of me on this one. I hate to say it, but it's kind of true. And then we'll also get to Fox News' Jesse Waters. Man, he made some dark comments about homelessness. So we'll discuss that as well. All right, without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into it here. So Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene is, of course, one of Donald Trump's biggest defenders. And she posted a video responding to Trump being arrested in Miami to the 37 crimes that he was brought up on. And let's just listen to what she has to say here, and then we'll react.
Hey everyone, I'm just standing up here on the balcony outside the Capitol right before we go in for votes, and been thinking a lot about President Trump today. He's about to be arraigned in Miami. It's completely wrong. It is such an abuse of our justice system, complete weaponization of government, and I'm going to do everything I can to defund Jack Smith's special counsel. And I'm going to urge Republicans here in Congress that we have to work to fight the weaponized government. That's the number one thing in this country.
Let me just pause here to point this out. They keep bringing up weaponization of the federal government, weaponization, going after your political opponents. They say that in one breath, and then in the next breath, they're like, arrest Hillary Clinton, arrest Hunter Biden, arrest Joe Biden. She's tried to impeach Joe Biden like 12 times. And by the way, the stuff she tries to impeach him on is like some of the most base stuff he's ever done. Like pulling out of Afghanistan, for example. She tried to impeach him over that. Impeach him for ending a war that we probably shouldn't have even been in the first place. So you can't have it both ways, Marjorie. You have to pick. It's either a weaponization of the federal government going after political opponents. That's uncanny. That's unnecessary. That's extreme. That's authoritarian. It's either that or it's arrest Hillary Clinton and Hunter Biden and Joe Biden. You can't pick both. You can't pick both. You gotta pick one or the other. One or the other. Basic logic is not something that sits well with Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Council, and I'm going to urge Republicans here in Congress that we have to work to fight the weaponized government. That's the number one thing in this country. And just taking in the thoughts of how in other countries, in foreign countries, we always watch the news where the government in charge will arrest one of their political enemies, and that's been shocking to Americans for years. But now it's happening in our own country. Today, President Trump is being arraigned on 37 charges having to do with documents that he absolutely, by the Presidential Records Act, has the right to possess.
According to himself, that is not true. When he was behind the scenes on audio tape being honest, he said, hey, when I was president, I could have declassified these, but I can't now. But you want to see him? If there's anybody to blame, it's him. Because he loves to open his mouth and say, I'm the crimes guy. I sure do love crimes. I am the crimes committer. Call me Crimey McCrimington. He's got nobody to blame but himself. Nobody to blame but himself. And by the way, These documents are not part of the overclassification problem where they classify everything under the sun if it embarrasses the federal government. These documents are actual classified top secret documents, and they should be. Nuclear secrets, vulnerabilities of the U.S. military, attack plans, things of that nature.
Here they are, the Biden administration, arresting really their top political opponent and enemy. This is a communist country. We've been taken over. It's not the America that we all thought that we had.
I swear to God, she's like one of those puppets where you pull the drawstring and it says the same like 3 things over and over and over. She defaults to it. Communism! It's communism! Communism! For the love of God, can any reporter out there who's even half decent ask her, hey, Marjorie, can you define that for me? What do you think communism is, Marjorie? She just uses it as like, anything I don't like is communist. Communism is bad. Anything I don't like is communist. So when the guy I love commits 37 obvious crimes, it's just, communists are targeting him, bro. Communists are targeting him, bro. I mean, I hate to be that guy. I hate to be so pedantic. But let's look at the definition of communism. A system in which goods are owned in common and are available to all as needed. A theory advocating elimination of private property. A doctrine based on revolutionary Marxian socialism and Marxism-Leninism that was the official ideology of the Soviet Union. They go on. They have more definitions here. Some of them are pejorative. Some of them are more neutral. But let's just go with the basic one. The advocating the elimination of private property. Everything's publicly owned. Everything. How the hell does arresting Donald Trump mean that now the means of production are owned by the public? This has nothing to do in any way, shape, or form with communism. But this is what happens when you're a political hack and you don't know your ass from your elbow, and you're the puppet where you pull the drawstring and you say the 3 damn things over and over and over. Now, by the way, she also brings up there, we in America, we are shocked when we see people in foreign countries arresting their political opponents. You know what else is more shocking? When elites always seem to get away with their crimes, even when the crimes are obvious, even when the crimes are extreme and barbaric. I would argue the more dystopian thing is that Dick Cheney and George W. Bush are not in jail. They did an illegal and offensive invasion against a country that didn't attack us and killed minimum 200,000 innocent civilians in Iraq. They did torture, which is illegal not only in U.S. law, illegal under the Constitution, the supreme law of the land, and illegal under international law. The real banana republic thing is when no matter what your leaders do, they're fine. No matter what they do, they get away with it. And she brings it up as if, oh, no, this is where you have a real problem where they go after their political opponents. This is like a third world country. Really? Green did not mention that several developed and democratic nations have indicted leaders and former leaders, including France, Iceland, Israel, Italy, Japan, Portugal, and South Korea. Conversely, in many countries, leaders' corruption goes unchecked. In other words, it is more civilized. It is more democratic. It is more a reflection of real law and order if you arrest your corrupt ass top officials. Now, if we get to the point where they're doing it willy-nilly and the charges are bogus, I'll be the first one out there saying this is bogus. But I ain't saying that now because it's not true. He did it. You know he did it. It's possible he was selling this stuff to Saudi Arabia, selling it to Israel, which is even more egregious and an even bigger crime. But even if it's not that, you got real top secret shit that should be top secret, and you're keeping it in a bathroom and a ballroom at a place that's a hotbed of spies. He should thank his lucky stars. He didn't go down years ago. Not only for this, but for the other 47 crimes. So, if this is the best defense you can muster up, man, you guys are in trouble, aren't you? The best you can muster up is communism. Communism. Okay, Marjorie. Good luck with that. Hey y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.